y'all, it's my review for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, episode 6. Sorry for the late review. It's been a long weekend. I wanted to get this out the way before we get to the newer episode. So let's get into it. This is the dinner party from hell, part 3. I am excited. We started at Kyle's place and she's being visited by Dorit and Crystal. Side note, I really don't mind Dorit's confessional look. It's a little iconic with the Chanel going up the collar. I do miss blonde hair Dorit though. So they're first talking about what happened at Garcelle's premiere night. I think Garcelle and Dorit are in a better place for now. And then Kyle is talking about her back and forth with Sutton, starting with her name conversation that they had. And then Kyle is now imitating Sutton in front of the ladies. Sutton, now's your chance to apologize. That is Kyle imitating Sutton as Sutton is imitating Erika. And again, Kyle keeps implying that Sutton is on drugs. All right, Dorit. Dorit has a really good Sutton imitation. Oh my God, my reputation. I mean, Dorit of all people should know how to imitate accents, so I'm not surprised. But she get what Kyle's saying because she's been on the other side before. They're all laughing at her impression. And like I said in my last review, Sutton, if you're gonna imitate somebody, be prepared for somebody to imitate you. Because she really sounds like Gone with the Wind Southern. Now see, Dorit, this is why I can't be nice to you. That was mean what you said about Sutton. She looks like the type of person to put vodka in her coffee in the morning. Really? And Crystal, I appreciate that you're coming to Sutton's defense, but do it in person, not in the confessional. She's like, Dorit's won the talk since the whole world knows her carcass out drink order. Crystal's real spicy in her confessional. She's saying Kyle gave up drinking yesterday, but now is judging someone else for their drinking. She has a great point, but I need Crystal to speak up in the moment and let these ladies know how she feels. Maybe then I won't forget you're actually there. Aside from Kyle talking behind Sutton's back, mimicking her and implying that she has an alcohol problem, she says she does care about her and their friendship. Next scene, we're with the dynamic duo Sutton and Garcelle, and they're having dinner. Hold up, I saw that, Sutton. Did you just bring your own grapefruit juice and pour it in the vodka? She really did be carrying that in her purse. So Sutton, of course, is talking about her conversation with Kyle, and it seemed like it started with Kyle defending Erika with the Magic Mike guys in the elevator. Like, Sutton thought it was planned, and Kyle said that was impossible. From Sutton's perspective, she thinks Kyle's always inserting herself in people's arguments. Sutton still believes something is going on with Kyle. From the exercising to not drinking anymore. Then she says Kyle has a new ring that she's wearing that's not her wedding ring. And oh my God, I think we got the shadiest confessional this year. This year, amongst all franchises, with Garcelle. She says, I don't notice things like that. The last time I noticed jewelry was Dorit's because she still had it after she was robbed. Like, damn, shots fired. My God. Then she proceeds to sip her drink, didn't even crack a smile. She was serious. Look, I hope Garcelle can back that up at the reunion. I can't wait to hear Dorit's response to that. So Detective Sutton is thinking that something's going on between Kyle and Mauricio's marriage. She thinks that's the root of it. I think she's the only one really talking about it. I'll give it to Dorit though. I think episode 2 or 3, she at least asked Kyle directly about it. Wow, so we got the Reddit forums making it on Housewives. So a lot of people are noticing like just different things Kyle is doing. Like on her monogram badge, she took off Mauricio's last name. She hasn't been wearing her wedding ring. But Sutton feels some type of way that something's going on with Kyle and she's not really confiding in her. I will say, if I thought I was really close to somebody and they'll tell me what's going on in their relationship and they're really like, on the verge of divorce or something, I would think they would tell me. But maybe the sides aren't even in their friendship. Maybe Sutton sees Kyle as more of a friend than the other way around. Because I think if Kyle had an issue in her marriage, the first person she would tell is Dorit, Teddy, Erika, hell, Lisa Rinna, before she tells Sutton. Sutton would probably be the last to know. Next scene with Erika, she's visiting her new business manager who's in charge of her PR. Right, what a job. She's basically coaching Erika and really revised her team. She says she's been helping her a lot and her career is on the incline because of it. So the publicists tell her in order for her to rebuild, she needs to take accountability. She had the chance to do that, I want to say maybe a season ago. But remember when she said, I don't give a fuck about anybody else but me. I think if she was taking accountability now, people would call BS on that. So next scene where Garcelle and her son Jax headed to dinner. She's having more quality time with her son, and ever since he read her on the beach, like Garcelle has been very, I guess, insecure about her child rearing. But I think her son assures her in the conversation that she's a great mom. And she also finds out in this dinner that he knew about, his dad's cheating ways, what Garcelle did in retaliation. He knows all that. I wish I knew what I knew about my parents' situation at an earlier age, and maybe me and my mom wouldn't be fighting so much in my teens, because they kept a lot from me. But again, that's a story for Chris's business. So next scene, we're with Kyle as she is getting a new tattoo. And no, Mauricio does not know about it. And this is the scene where we finally meet Kyle's alleged, would she be a mistress? I guess she would. But secret partner, Morgan Wade. I don't know who this woman is. I'm guessing she's like a rocker chick. I got her confused with Morgan Wallace when I first heard her name. Now, is this a stereotype or something? Because I watched Selling Sunset, and Chrishell New Girl, it just seemed like it's the masked rocker chick here to turn out the straight girl. Like, I immediately thought of Chrishell and her girlfriend when I saw this. Now, what's strange about this is, this is the first time we've seen this woman, and we've been following Kyle for 13 seasons. You mean to tell me you've been friends with her? And that's why people think y'all together, because you keep fanning the flames. Like, why would you be in a video where you're kissing her if you have all these rumors that you're with her? Or y'all doing intimate things you only see couples doing? I want to know if Kyle's so close to Morgan, has she met Mauricio? Has she met her kids? Because just like Sutton, I have questions. So we get a background into how they met, and Kyle met her on social media. Morgan says she stalked her. Now see, all these pictures they take and they look like couples photos. Now Kyle, if Mauricio letting you do your thing and y'all still together, that's even better. But if y'all both are just living y'all separate lives, y'all gonna get a divorce, fine. Like, the reason why we in your business, because you gave us permission to for 13 years. So don't be mad at people making assumptions when you won't give answers. So then this is when we find out that Kyle is having a dinner party to CBD. Is it THC? It's THC too, like a dinner. I would love to do that. Actually, that's a nice, grown-ass thing to do. A nice little dinner party with CBD or THC. I'm gonna ask one of my rich friends to do that. Anyway, everybody's invited. Everybody. The chef looks like that big guy from SNL with the curly hair. I don't know his name. This scene is so awkward because they're having this personal-ass conversation with the tattoo artist just right there. just chilling. She lets us know that her woman Morgan has been sober for 6 years, and I'm thinking maybe this inspired Kyle to stop drinking altogether. Not to be mean, but this is a boring-ass tattoo she getting. Yeah, Kyle getting this basic-ass tattoo, that's about it. They flirting with each other, fast forward. So next scene, I'm guessing it's later that day, we're still with Kyle, she gets home, and Mauricio's there. They have no chemistry whatsoever. What's crazy is Kyle had more chemistry with Morgan earlier than Mauricio. So she shows him the new tattoo. Oh, love bean. What is that supposed to be? Saturn? That is my Mauricio impression. I'm working on it. It really seemed like he doesn't care about the tattoo, and Kyle just looking like she's going through a midlife crisis. So next scene we're with Sutton as she has the matchmaker coming to her place. She also invites Dorit too for some strange reason. So Sutton says the reason why she brought Dorit is because she thinks she figured out why nobody wants to date her. Could you imagine a friend telling you that? You know what, Chris? I figured out why nobody wants to date you. Yeah, I'll be like, get the fuck out my house. So Dorit arrives and Sutton is greeting her. We cut to Sutton's confessional and the shade she threw at Dorit. She says Dorit is the perfect person to help her pick somebody because seeing her with PK, maybe she shouldn't be so picky. So the matchmaker and Dorit are both talking about Sutton's dating habits, and Dorit is getting her shade in. The matchmaker says she thinks that Sutton is self-aware, and Dorit's like, really? Really, self-aware? I would agree with Dorit, but she needs to chill because that's the pot calling the kettle black. So they're picking a match for Sutton, and I'm sure later in the season we're going to see her go on a date with him. So next scene is the day of the THC dinner party, and we're just seeing a bunch of the ladies get ready. We're with Kyle, and we find out that at the tattoo spot, she actually gave a tattoo to her friend Morgan. And it was her initial K on her arm. Yeah, that's not intimate at all. So fast forward, Kyle's in glam, getting everything set up. She looks good. I like the little curly hair on her. We see Kyle's first guest arrive. Oh my God, not him again. Like her errand boy, this black gay Oreo that be on E! News, I cannot stand him. I really can't. And then we see the morally corrupt Faye Resnick. I've missed her, and I've always wanted her to be a friend of. So next up, we see the new girl for the first time this season. I totally forgot, but it's Anne-Marie. She's a friend of Kyle. And speaking of which, I'm sure y'all heard the allegations against her husband. I'm hearing that Bravo may cut her down to friend of just because of this whole controversy. Now, do y'all think that's fair because it's happening to her husband and it's not her and she's being punished for it? I'm very curious how they're going to go about it. They said she still wasn't in the title card, but we'll see next week. Okay, Kyle, we get it. You're having an alcoholic beer. You don't always have to announce that. We get it. You're sober now. Anne-Marie's personality, she's definitely that valley black girl you see, like at Spelman or something. No offense to anybody at Spelman, I'm just saying. I've seen girls exactly like this. So Kyle is telling her guests already her beef with Sutton, especially when she says she's working out too much. She asks Anne-Marie, who has Angela Bassett arms, how many times a week does she work out? She's like 6 to 7. So Kyle feels vindicated from this. Ooh, next up we have Sutton pulling up with Cynthia Bailey. Good to see her. They could have just made her a friend of the show instead of Anne-Marie. Side note, Sutton looks great in that jacket. I keep forgetting that Cynthia and Kyle already know each other from the Ultimate Girls Trip. You'd think they would be closer than Cynthia is to Sutton, but you know Kyle, she can be very fake. Damn, Sutton throwing shade at the new girl in her confessional. She says the dress that she's wearing is a dress Erika Jayne wore. I think it was last season. It's a different color though. She says they're still making this dress? Erika Jayne arrives and she looks really cute. I love this pink dress she's wearing. I may not care for her, but she's still bringing the fashions every now and then. Here go Crystal coming in this boring dress, as well as her friend. She is the youngest on the cast, dressing the oldest. We then find out that Crystal knows Anne-Marie, and then she throws shade at the new girl. She says she talks a lot and is very nosy. So in walks Dorit, and surprisingly, I don't like what she's wearing at all. Oof, Garcelle. Garcelle, you know I love you, girl. You know I love you, but this outfit, from the hair to the shoes is a chop. And I say that with love. So later we see Kyle tell her black gay minion that Denise Richards and Camille are on the way. And I don't think she told the other ladies about it, which is very messy on her part. So since Camille is coming, we see Faye and Kyle reminisce about the dinner party part 1 with the psychic, who actually turned out to be right about Kyle. He will never emotionally fulfill you. He'll be out the house when the kids are grown. I believe she said all that. Yes, and Camille and Denise Richards are back. I mean, I'm more excited for Camille. I never wanted Denise back. We know the only reason Denise around is because Lisa Rinna isn't there anymore. And speaking of Denise, homegirl had too many cocktails before she got to Kyle's place. Mama is lit. So in walk Denise and Camille, and the ladies are gagged. Garcelle says, oh. Denise says, what's oh? I don't know why that scene was so funny, but it was. And here go production playing up the beef between Camille and Faye Resnick. It's crazy they still don't like each other. That shit was 13 years ago. I didn't even know Kyle and Camille were cool. I thought they didn't like each other. They are some good frenemies though. So Denise is interacting with the ladies, saying she's not gonna do the weed. And the last person she did weed with, she looks directly in the camera. I think she almost winked, but she said that's the last person she had weed with, Lisa Rinna. Not them all being afraid of the edibles. These ladies are lame. You can tell they're all Gen X. That does not surprise me. So before dinner, someone wants to talk to Kyle one-on-one away from everybody. Meanwhile, we see the other ladies getting seated. Camille and Faye realize that they're across from each other. And Kyle made that seating chart. She knew what she was doing. But awkwardly, Faye goes to the other side of the table and stays there. Camille peeps game though. She's like, I'm glad she wasn't in front of me. So production picks up both of them whispering about each other. Faye says she has no interest in talking to that woman. So we're with Kyle and Sutton now, and Sutton wants to explain her behavior because, they've gotten into it at Garcelle's thing and then at her house, why she hasn't been herself lately because she has something on her mind. Turns out her husband got a huge promotion and he wanted to force her and their son to move with him to London. And she was just like, no, she doesn't want to. And she was afraid that her son was going to want to leave her and be with the husband. But then she finds out that, well, everything is okay. So she's keeping her son, she gets to stay in London, and she's getting a higher child support. She says she don't know what she's going to do about that. The look on Kyle's face, she's like, what? Why is it a bad thing? Sutton's like, well, I'm going to have to deal with him legally now. But you get more money, girl. To Kyle, she's like, bitch, this is what's on your mind? Kyle is still asking Sutton about her behavior at her house. She said that she was aggressively off. So Kyle then downplays Sutton's struggles that she's having. You're getting more money. Sutton gets very offended by this. If you're not going to be sympathetic to my situation, and Kyle's like, oh yeah, like the fashion designer, you couldn't get your dress in time. They're going back and forth. Sutton is like, will you listen for a second? And Kyle says, are you that out of touch? Oh my God, my edible kicked in, I'm sorry. Kyle then calls out Sutton for using this situation as an excuse for her behavior. Sutton is like, then what's your excuse? Meanwhile, the guests are still waiting on Kyle and Sutton, so Crystal gets up. We also see that Denise Richards is drunk off her ass. Like she's slurring her words, her head is bobbing. A sad sight to see. Say that 3 times fast. So Crystal tries to interrupt them. They're going back and forth. Sutton is like, you aren't the friend I know right now. She also calls her out for not being honest. Kyle's like, what I'm not honest about? And she's like, I don't know, Kyle. Why don't you tell me? So then at this point, Kyle knows what she's trying to do. Then she's like, well, you're really off right now. I'm not sure if it's because of the medicine you take for your feet or what. The medicine you take for your feet. My God. Then she insinuates again that Kyle's an alcoholic, and Sutton gets up and walks away. Crystal's doing a horrible job of mediating, but all the ladies come back to the table, and I'm sure their drama's going to carry on throughout dinner. So Sutton sits down. Erika asks, where's our host? Sutton says, in denial about something. When I tell you the whole table gagged at that, the facial reactions are killing me at the table. Kyle finally sits down. She looks like she wants to fight somebody. Okay, so then the chef comes out, lets them know like how many milligrams are going to be in their food. They can choose from 0 to 10. Man, there are chickens. 0 milligrams, 1 milligrams, 5. Give me 10. So then later, Crystal of all people pipes up and says, oh, we should all clear the air. Interesting. How uncrystal-like for her to get the mess started. You both were back there yelling, calling each other dishonest. So now the whole table in on the conversation. Kyle accuses Sutton in front of everybody of making veiled threats. And the threat she's talking about is bringing up the cheating rumors with Mauricio, as well as like just trouble in their marriage. They're both still talking in riddles. Like Kyle wants Sutton to say it. Say that you think there's trouble in my marriage. Say it out loud. But Sutton wants her to say it. Ooh, this is tense. Like Kyle is still trying to get it out of Sutton, but Sutton's like, well, I'm not sure if you're going through something, like with the working out, the food stuff. And then Kyle, she's had enough. She's like, oh, you want to talk about food stuff? Let's talk about how you don't even eat. Kyle should be ashamed of herself, especially being a person who suffered with an eating disorder. So here go Anne-Marie making her debut, putting in her 2 cents. She is talking a lot. Let's just fast forward a bit. So Sutton is more direct with Kyle this time, and she says, is there something going on in your personal life? Anne-Marie's like, but with what though? Garcelle jumps in finally and says her marriage. The table is gagged. Garcelle really just tapped in. She's like, yeah, with your marriage, with the new ring you're wearing. Garcelle just clocked the fuck in. She's like, we're gonna get this scene. Tell us about your ring, heifer. Miles are dropped at the table. These ladies are working for that check. You hear me? Kyle says the ring's in the bank. Garcelle then asks, well, is that a makeup band you have? Like a makeup gift from your husband? And she says, for example, she got a diamond cross from her ex-husband as a makeup gift. Erika's like, did it burst into flames? The table starts laughing. Camille then chimes in and she's like, yeah, I used to get cars. And Aston Martin. I love how I went from serious to comedy that fast. This is some good television. Colin says she bought the sapphire ring for herself. Sutton's like, okay, problem solved. Now y'all know Faye had to chime in for her girl at least once at the table, saying that it's rude to ask her about her marriage at the table and talk behind her back. Sutton keeps saying, we're clear. We're clear. She's clearly annoyed. So the joke's still coming. Kyle turns to Garcelle, where you got the necklace from? Since they quizzing her about her ring, Garcelle looks at her and says, Zara. Well, at least it looked like people having a good time. I mean, compared to the first dinner party where you saw people storming out. Kyle's still coming at Sutton, and she finally says the elephant in the room that she thinks Sutton is trying to say, which is Mauricio has been cheating on her. The looks at the table, especially Garcelle's smirk. The look on her face is, and we got the scene. It is a pin drop at the table now. Kyle's basically saying that she bought this ring for herself, and just because she shared with the ladies that things haven't been perfect in her marriage at the retreat, you're bringing this cheating allegation up. And then she tells Sutton, would you have liked if my husband cheated on me and gave me a ring as a makeup gift? We cut to Garcelle's confessional, and she has a point. Like, Kyle still hasn't really answered the question. Well, is something going on with your marriage? So the credits are rolling now, and the music is just getting more louder and dramatic. And Kyle continues to defend, why she changed her eating habits. She's not drinking anymore. She's working out more. Like, she doesn't want to be depressed. I cannot afford to be depressed. And we get it to be continued. So after that, we don't get a preview of next week, which I think is fucked up. I really enjoyed this episode. I mean, top tier reality television. Like, they don't do dinner parties like they do in Beverly Hills. Like, none of the franchise have nothing on their dinner parties. Y'all let me know whose side y'all on. With that, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all for the next episode. Bye.